Hello and welcome to Thailand, where the weather forecast should simply say good luck. If there is one thing Thailand does better than sunset, it is flooding. You have not lived until you have watched your garden become a freshwater lake in 30 minutes. Furthermore, you know it is bad when even the frogs look annoyed at how much water is around. Have you ever tried outrunning the monsoon with flip-flops on? You will not win. Alright, pull up a chair, pour yourself a tea or get yourself a beer if it has been one of those weeks, and let us talk about flooding in Thailand. Yes, I know, thrilling topic. Right up there with tax forms and standing in a queue at immigration. However, bear with me, because once you have lived in this country long enough, you realise that flooding is not just a seasonal inconvenience, it is practically a national hobby. Therefore, is the monsoon season just nature's annual reminder that she is in charge? You see, every year, like clockwork, between May and October, the skies open and the monsoon rolls in with the subtlety of a stampeding water buffalo. Rain does not fall here, it descends. It is as if the heavens unzip a giant bucket and dump it straight onto your doorstep. I've had mornings when I wake up, glance outside and the driveway is bone dry. Lovely sunshine and birds chirping. Then from nowhere, boom! Nature decides it is time for a shower. Not for you, mind you, but for the entire country. Well, almost. It is all perfectly normal, and it has been happening long before I arrived with my sunburn and my naive optimism. Nevertheless, wait, there is more. As if the monsoon season was not dramatic enough, Thailand is occasionally brushed or slapped by tropical storms and typhoons wandering aimlessly across the Pacific. They drift in like drunken relatives who were not even invited but insist on causing chaos anyway. These storms bring sheets of rain, high winds, power outages, garden furniture flying across the yard, and the locals shrugging as if it is just another Tuesday. Now, let us talk geography. Thailand is ridiculously flat in many places, especially the Central Plains. It is brilliant for rice farming, but it is also like inviting water to come in and put his feet up. Then, Bangkok itself sits, wait for it, barely above sea level. Some bits are actually below it now. Yes, the city is sinking. Slowly but steadily, like an inflatable mattress with a pinhole. Therefore, when high tides combine with rain, you essentially have the perfect recipe for a soggy disaster. I once watched a taxi driver try to navigate through a flooded road. He drove in with confidence, but 30 seconds later water was creeping into his cab, and he looked betrayed, as if the flood had personally insulted him. Now, if nature alone were responsible, you might think, well, cannot be helped, can it? However, no. Humans have contributed with their fair share of the problem, and then some. Just look at Bangkok. It has concrete everywhere. Concrete is great for buildings, but terrible for soaking up water. The rain hits, looks for soil, finds none, and says, right then, I will take the roads. On top of that, remember, trees soak up water and trees regulate water flow. So naturally, in some areas, they were chopped down quicker than you can say development. Without them, the water just gushes downhill, picking up soil, debris, and somebody's unsecured chicken coop. All that groundwater pumping to support the megacity. The ground sinks slowly but surely, and then subsidence. It is like watching Bangkok try to crouch down and tie its shoelaces but never quite stand up again. Next up is water management challenges. Have you ever seen a drainage system designed to handle a drizzle, trying to cope with a monsoon? It is like watching a man with a dustbuster trying to clean up after a dam burst. Water channels that used to lead somewhere now lead to housing estates. Rivers get narrower. Canals, once the pride of Thailand, become clogged with rubbish, sediment, and the occasional lost motorbike. Is all this talk about climate change turning an old problem into a modern crisis? Now, here is the fun part about climate change. Yes, Thailand has always flooded and always will. However, we are seeing now is on a completely different level. The storms now feel angrier. Rainfall more intense. Rainfall that used to be spread across weeks now falls in hours. Imagine someone delivering your monthly salary all in one day, but instead of money it's water pouring through your front door. What about the rise in sea level? Bangkok is already low-lying. Rising seas make high tides higher and storm surges scarier. Salt water even creeps into farmland, leaving farmers wondering why their rice tastes like it took a holiday in the ocean. The weather seems moody and more severe these days. Storms appear, disappear, reappear, circle back like confused pigeons. So yes, Thailand would flood anyway, climate change or not. Nevertheless, the severity, frequency and the sheer stubbornness of today's floods absolutely amplified. Now, do you remember 2011? The year the water came, saw and conquered one of the worst floods in Thailand's modern history. Factories shut down, hundreds died, entire regions submerged for months. However, here is the thing. Thailand learned from it. Thailand has adapted and made improvements. Bangkok and surrounding provinces introduced giant underground drainage tunnels, better early warning systems, improved dam coordination, flood retention areas, the monkey cheek concept, cleaner and restored canals, flood walls along the Chao Phraya River, smart monitoring systems for the water flow. Now, King Rama IX famously championed the Kam Ling, the monkey cheek strategy. Store water where it will not wreck anything. Brilliant. Local communities also got smarter. Raised houses, improved drainage, better building codes, more awareness, more preparation, more resilience. However, here is the bit people do not like to admit. You cannot defeat nature. Not permanently. You can bargain with it. You can negotiate. However, you are never truly in charge. Thailand can build dams, tunnels, pumps, barriers, sensors, satellite predictive models and reinforced concrete, but when Mother Nature decides she wants to visit, she will find the door. She will creep through cracks, overflow rivers, surge from the sea and dump water from above. Always. Nature adapts, it evolves, it always wins, and that is the truth of it. One time during a particularly nasty storm, I watched the neighbour release his ducks into his flooded yard. They might as well enjoy it, he said, and honestly they did. They were having the time of their lives. Meanwhile, I was knee deep in water, desperately trying to rescue my flip-flops drifting towards Cambodia. If you look, during the wet season in Thailand, you will always see something that is relatable to possible flooding. Mop buckets permanently stationed at the front door, motorbikes turn into jet skis, villagers laughing at foreigners panicking, neighbours comparing water levels like it's some kind of sport. The annual "should we move the furniture upstairs" ritual. Flooding becomes not just a physical issue, but also a cultural experience. Therefore, here I am, an aging Englishman living in Thailand, learning year after year that this country's relationship with water is as complicated as its traffic system. It is a dance, sometimes gentle, sometimes violent, always unpredictable. Flooding in Thailand is not a single problem. It is a cocktail of monsoon storms, geography, urbanisation, human ambition and climate change, all shaken together by a bartender who laughs at your umbrellas. Thailand fights back, adapts, innovates and prepares. Nevertheless, nature, she always has the final word, and that word is usually surprise. If you have ever survived a Thai flood, whether knee-deep or waist-deep, drop your story in the comments. On the other hand, tell me if your flip-flops ever floated away like mine. Furthermore, do not forget to like, subscribe and share this video with someone who thinks monsoon season is romantic. Bless them. Take care, keep your feet dry, and it is a goodbye from me. Bye bye.